Business is open in Chelmsford. Thank you for joining us. My name is Lisa Maroney. I am the Director of Business Development for the town of Chelmsford, and we are here to welcome the reopening and new location of the Music Elements with the virtual ribbon cutting. Thank you so much for following along. We cannot hear anyone that's joined us on Zoom, but I know that you can hear us, and that we are recording this and we'll be sharing it out to the bigger community. So everyone on Zoom and in person, definitely feel free to make some noise as we get to our little virtual ribbon cutting event here. So thank you so much for keeping your business here in Chelmsford.
Thank you,
and
Lisa.
Your location here, 160 Turnpike Road.
Yes.
So would you like to say a few words about your business here and why you choose Chelmsford?
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you all for being here at the first virtual and in-person ribbon cutting. Thank you to Lisa Maroney and to Pete Pedula for hosting this for us. And I met Lisa through Tom Christiano. Thank you, Tom. Great friend. He's so supportive to us, not just our businesses, but to all the small businesses in town. He is just a gem. So thank you so much. This is Jeanette Reed. I'm Anita Connerty, and we share the property at 160 Turnpike Road, Music Elements, and Evolutions. Jean has two businesses, Evolutions in Business, which provides outsourced guidance and training for international trade compliance, and Evolutions in Being, which provides support for individuals in their journey through life by means of a practical and metaphysical approach to problem solving. We live in town, and the music school, Music Elements, started in 1995 at our home. And 6 years ago, we moved to 3 Summer Street. And now we're so happy to be here at 160 Turnpike Road. We hope to be here for years to come and just grow big. We have 14 instructors. We teach lessons in all of the instruments and voice. We are in person and virtually online. And we're also national. We teach lessons across the country, and we're very, very proud of that. Lastly, it's National Teacher Appreciation Week, and we're really, really proud of our staff and our teachers. And who? Oh, the mothers, yes. Okay, so this is very exciting. For the month of May, any mom can have 1 free music lesson, and we would love to see you. Celebration of Mother's Day, the month of May. If you want more information on our businesses, you can reach us at music-elements.com, EIB.com, or evolutionsinbeing.com. And our number is 978-221-5641. We really, really hope to see you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I just want to welcome, these are your family members?
Yes, my sister Elaine.
Yeah.
My mother and father-in-law, Midge and Don.
Great. Thank you so much for making this first time event so fun and special. I really appreciate it.
This is so kind of you.
Isn't this great?
Yeah.
So here we go. We're going to count down. We're going to cut the ribbon, everybody, and then we're going to make some noise. So luckily, I was given a tambourine, so I'm going to grab my tambourine here. We'll have a moment to, we'll do a little countdown. Sounds and we'll have a moment to grab some noisemakers and make some noise to welcome this new location here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you very much.
I want to keep this tambourine. Do I get to keep it?
Oh, I'll get awesome.
Okay, so I will also present you. I have a certificate here for you from the town. This is signed by the select board members from the town of Chelmsford. We appreciate your business here in Chelmsford. Municipal officials have signed this for you. We are the team here to support your business during your stay in Chelmsford, and thank you so much for choosing our community.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.
Yay, I'm clapping with one hand. Okay, awesome. So very good. We'll be airing our contact information. You can find me at Chelmsford Town Hall, Lisa Maroney. I'm working in the town manager's office. Stop in anytime. We would love to support your business and celebrate your business, and please patron our small businesses here in Chelmsford. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm very excited today because I love animals, as most of you know, and I'm here at the Newhouse Animal Rescue location. It's right here in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, with Martha Jane Newhouse, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's right. I go by Jane. It fools everyone, gets confused because they're like, "Do I call you Martha or Jane?" But it's Jane.
Nice. So I was right the first time with Jane. I use my middle name too.
Oh,
you know,
really?
mine's Carmen Thomas Christiano, but I use my middle name because it's easier than Carmen. You know, so.
Right.
So Martha, this is so great that you're doing this because I'm an animal lover. You're an animal lover, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So how did this all begin, Jane?
So I actually started in Georgia I was a veterinary technician, and so people would bring wildlife into the clinic, and I would take it home, do rehabilitation in Georgia. And then when I moved up here, I stopped for a little while because I started a family, and my husband and I started a business together. But people would contact me with wildlife, injured and orphan wildlife, because they knew I'd had previous experience. So I decided a couple years ago to get my license up here and to do it I meant for it to be something much smaller, like maybe rehab like a few squirrels, maybe a few raccoons. And once I got licensed and once the social media hit, it kind of blew up and it's kind of taken on a life of its own. But it's been amazing. The need was stronger than I thought, and we've met that need head on. Well, I wouldn't say we've met the need. The need is always going to be there, but my family's been on board, the local community's been on board, and so it's just grown and grown and grown. And so now we have this in-home facility here, and we have the outdoor cages, and we just keep them full of injured and orphan wildlife. So.
And I can't wait to see them all. We're going to do a tour after this quick interview of the wildlife that are here, and Jane is going to show me all around. So, Jane, how long did you say you've been doing this with this formal rescue organization? That's right.
Well, as Newhouse Wildlife, it's been 2 years.
2 years, yeah. And so the state has kind of licensed you, right? And they come in periodically for an inspection?
So, yeah, there's environmental police that will come by. Like, it's surprise inspections. It's nothing that's, like, noted or they let you know ahead of time. So we've had the environmental police come by and take a look. So yeah.
Wonderful. And how about the town? Are you licensed with the town, or the Board of Health is?
The Board of Health, our permit is with the state, so the state oversees what we do. We did pull a building permit to build this, and that was inspected by the electrical inspector, plumbing inspector, and building inspector. So that's all been inspected.
Wonderful. And could I ask about how you maintain all this? That is the funding. Who funds it all?
Oh, it's all the community. It's like 100% community funded. So when we first started this and I stepped down from working with my company, my husband said, I don't mind if you're taking this on head on, but we can't go broke doing it. So we're investing our time. If you can find the funding to do it, great. And so that's what we did. We went to social media, but the community knew what we were trying to do, and that's how we've been able to get as big as we have. The community has been incredibly responsive. Anything we need, we let people know, and our needs have always been met.
So how do you let them know exactly? Like, do you post it on Chelmsford News, or do you have your own website, or both?
We have our Facebook page, which has been really popular, and we'll do like an Amazon list if we have things that can be purchased on Amazon. And like, for example, Sunday I posted a list of everything that we needed at 7 o'clock. There were probably like 30 items on that list. By 8 o'clock, an hour later, everything was purchased.
You're kidding.
People were contacting me. The list is empty, Jane. I'm like, no, I just filled it. And I looked, and 2 days later, boxes showing up at the door. It's amazing. It's always so. It's not only helpful in that I know that we've got the funding, but it's just knowing that the community has your back, knowing that they believe in what you're doing, they support what you're doing. It makes it all worthwhile.
I think that is fantastic. I had some idea that the people in Chelmsford and Massachusetts were generous, but I didn't know they were that responsive and generous.
Well, people love animals, you know, and they see it. So we're like trying to update everybody so they can see some of the patients we have here and update everyone on what we're doing. And I think that's helpful too. Like I try every day to let people see pictures of the animals or tell them the stories of the animals that have come in. And I think that in that way people connect, but also it's people are learning because we try and educate people on some of our local wildlife and things like that. And people appreciate it. People come in here and they'll have an animal. They're like, Jane, I knew what to do because I follow your page and I watched the video on what to do if you find a squirrel. I knew not to feed it. I knew to keep it warm. And so it's great. It's really nice.
I have to look at those pages more often. So your Facebook page, what is the exact name of your Facebook page?
It's Newhouse Wildlife Rescue of Chelmsford.
Newhouse Wildlife Rescue of Chelmsford. Yeah. And do you also have a website that you would like to give out?
Sure, yeah. It's newhousewildliferescue.org.
newhousewildliferescue.org. And do you want to give out a phone number or no?
Oh, yeah, sure. My number is 978-413-4085.
Wonderful. So I guess we could start the tour now. Is there anything else we should discuss? We talked about how long you've been here. So, could I ask about the animals? We'll look at the ones you have here now, but sure. Are you looking for other animals that have been found? Should we let the people know about that?
Right now we've opened our doors again, so it's a constant open and close thing. Basically, right now, all of our squirrel enclosures are full. We do have space if someone finds an injured or orphan raccoon. Bunnies are having babies right now, so that's pretty much what we've been getting lately. But usually if you call our phone or message us, a lot of people message us on Facebook. If we're full, it'll have an automatic response. But a lot of times people call us about birds. We actually don't rehab birds. It takes a separate special permit to rehab birds. So we don't do that here. We don't do pest removal. So if someone finds an otherwise healthy animal that they just don't want on their property, we don't do that. We just do small mammals.
Wonderful. Well, I'm so excited. We're going to take a look at all the small mammals that you have here at Newhouse Wildlife Rescue in Chelmsford. Thank you so much for doing this, Jane.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys some of the creatures we have here right now. In this incubator here, I have a baby bunny that came in last night. So she's probably about 10 days old. She's a little baby cottontail. And her nest was disturbed by a dog. That happens a lot. So they weren't able to save her siblings, but they were able to. I know, it's so sad. And those things happen sometimes, especially with bunnies.
So they weren't able to save yours, but she was. Did somebody bring her over? Did you say?
Yes, yeah. So it was about 9 o'clock last night, actually.
It was just last night.
Just last night. So this one's perfectly healthy. Otherwise doing really well.
I'll go take a close up for her in there. And you call this an incubator, right?
Yep, this is an incubator.
So it's keeping her nice and warm.
That's
and everything?
right. Yep.
Could I put my hand in there to see how warm?
Oh well, so.
Oh, okay. No.
Oh, easy. They jump really easy.
Oh, really? Oh. But you got a good view over there, though. Yeah. So how long do you think you will keep her here?
Bunnies aren't a long commitment. It only takes them about 3 weeks from the time they're born until they're old enough to be on their own. So in rehabilitation, usually we keep them like another week or two. They just have to get to 150 grams. So right now, this one's about 90 grams.
Oh, I see.
There's another one I received a few days ago that she's about 60 grams. And we'll be able to put these two together once this one catches up a little bit.
But this is from a separate family?
Separate family. Wow. So this
one... And
someone else brought this one, right? They look very similar, obviously, because they're both cottontails.
Cottontails, And is he about 90 grams, too?
This one's smaller, actually. That's why I didn't put them together. This one's 60 grams. So this one went a few days without mom. They weren't sure if the mom was coming back or not, so they put like a tic-tac-toe pattern with floss over the nest, which is something we tell people to do, and they realized she wasn't coming back, and so they were able to save this one. And this is another lone survivor. The siblings with this one didn't make it, but the nice thing about this is when we get enough together, we can bring a bunch of orphans together and they have siblings. They're not raised alone.
Oh, nice. So, and then you release them out into the wild when they're 150 grams, you said approximately?
150 grams, yeah.
So, and then they just go on their own, and they know how to survive instinctually?
Yeah, as long as that we don't raise them alone, and then once they're weaned, we kind of let them be. We just give them food and water, but we don't touch or handle them at all. They naturally become fearful. They naturally want to eat clover, grass, weeds, things like that. So it's pretty readily available for them, so there's no training or anything really necessary for them.
Nice, wonderful. I hope they do so well when you release them.
Oh, yeah.
I love seeing them in my backyard. The cottontails, I guess they're called.
Right, yep. That's right. They're adorable. They're super cute.
So you have another empty
yep, this one's available right now.
Incubator. And what's this thing there? Baby worm.
This is another incubator. I have an adult rabbit in here. I'm not gonna pull her out. She just came in. Actually about an hour before you got here. So she was attacked by a cat. She had a lot of lacerations on her.
Oh my God, the poor thing.
Yeah.
So somebody brought her in as well?
So yes, a woman just brought her in from Chelmsford. Actually, she came from Chelmsford. Yeah. So she was walking her dog, and the bunny came over, and her dog kind of held it still, but her dog wasn't the one that injured it. But when she brought it here, and her and I were looking at it, it just had multiple lacerations. So it happens sometimes. A lot of times, cats will get to them, or get hit by a car or something. But otherwise, she's able to move all of her limbs well, so that's good. So we just have to close up the wounds, get them clean, get her on some antibiotics, and fingers crossed, she'll be okay.
I hope so. And could I ask, how many hours a week do you devote to this?
Oh gosh,
is it hard to say?
So luckily, I have volunteers. So for me, it's probably at least 60 hours a week. It's,
really? Oh my God.
Very early in the morning. It takes 4 hours just to do the morning routines on everybody. So some of these animals, their cages have to be clean. Everybody's going to get medicated. Baby bunnies, these guys just open their eyes, but before their eyes open, they can't even urinate on their own. Like they have to have help. They have to be stimulated. So,
really? Oh my God.
So they need a lot of hands-on attention.
So you have one or more volunteers?
So we have 3 volunteers that come here and help with the feedings. One of them is a permitted wildlife rehabber in Lowell. But they have helped me for the past 7 months. They have through the whole baby season. They're amazing, and they come here and they work for free, cleaning cages and feeding animals. They're wonderful.
Are these young people or adults
full age ranges, actually. Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic? And you devote 60 hours a week, maybe?
Yes.
Plus you have children, did you say?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I don't know how you do this.
Kids. It's crazy, but I enjoy it too, so it doesn't feel like work. But it's the first thing I do when I wake up and the last thing I do before I go to bed. So definitely keeps me busy for sure.
But we didn't talk about it before, but did you set up a foundation so that you could actually make a living from this if you don't already? That is, to get paid for all of your time that you put into this.
Talked about that. We're trying to get a 501c, and when I had an attorney here, they were talking about trying to make it paid at some point. Right now, it's not. Hopefully, one day it would be somewhat. I don't expect that I will make what I used to when I was doing general construction, but I think right now I'm just happy that it's not coming out of my pocket, that we're caring for them, that the community is handling like all the funding for their needs. So right now I'm really happy with that, and I think the sky is really the limit, you know.
Right. But I hope someday that you think about setting up some sort of charitable foundation or whatever so that you could get a full-time good pay for what you're doing.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Because, for example, the head of the Red Cross for a charitable organization, I'm sure gets over $400,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
So, all I'm saying is, to get $50,000 or $100,000 a year for all this hard work you're doing is not unreasonable, I think. Just to think about that someday. Because you have young children, you said, right?
Right, yeah. And a very understanding husband.
So just something to think about someday, because I think you deserve it for all that you're doing here. If they could get $400,000, I think you could at least get $100,000 or 80 or whatever.
That'd be nice.
But so do you have some other chipmunks here, right?
Yep. So the chipmunks, once they get to a certain age, they're solitary animals, so I have to separate them at one point.
Oh, are they solitary? Because I get them on my deck. I feed the I feed them bird seed.
Yep.
But it's true, they don't come in twos. They're just.
They're usually. They're okay with other chipmunks. They won't necessarily attack as long as
yes, that's what I say.
Mind their space. These guys are a little bit younger. They're kind of at the age now where they don't really want me handling them.
Because they're getting older.
They're getting a little bit older. So, but they're still formula fed. So they still will tolerate me coming in there. But I don't usually pick them up to feed them. I usually just give them the syringe from inside the cage.
Oh, I see. Without picking them up.
Yeah.
Because you want them to get acclimated, not to humans, but
exactly.
Not always be fed by humans.
That's always the trick.
So you actually have to feed them, or your volunteers via a feeding tube?
With a syringe. Yeah, we have a special syringe with a tip on it.
And then you have, looks like 2 over here, right?
There's 3 in that cage. Yeah, they're always on.
And they love it. What's that called? The tread? Well, some sort of exercise wheel, we'll say.
Yeah.
Look at them go, like a gerbil. Or
it's crazy.
Isn't that great? Wow.
That thing. Yeah, they love it. It's funny because the multiple ones will get on it at one time. There you go.
Oh!
Yeah,
there's 2 of them on it, yeah.
Yeah, they love that thing.
They're beautiful animals, I think, the chipmunks.
They are.
I think their markings are amazing.
It's funny because we've learned that in the morning we have to give them their formula before we feed them, because if we give them food first, they'll stuff their cheeks so full, and then when we try to give them formula, they have to actually spit out the food that's in their cheeks. Every animal has their own unique little thing, you know.
I see the chipmunks filling their cheeks with my birdseed almost every day.
They go right back to their den.
Yeah, and then they must have built up a nice store for the winter of the seeds, right?
Oh, sure.
Because they fill their cheeks, then they run down the stairs and hide the seeds somewhere.
Dens, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So you have some beautiful, I call them cages here, right? Oh, look at this beautiful red squirrel or something.
Yeah, so it's red squirrels in here. I have to be cautious because these guys will run.
Oh, they will. Oh,
yeah. Red squirrels are very feisty. They're the redheads of nature, you know.
And so she or he will bite you if possible?
These ones, at this point, I haven't tried to handle them. We syringe feed them through the outside of the cage, actually. So they'll approach us for that, but they won't let us handle them, which is great. They're definitely more feisty than gray squirrels, smaller than grays. But
well, what's the story with this red squirrel?
So there's actually 4 of them in here.
4 of them are in there?
Yeah, there's 4. Wow. They're in their little den box here. Well, they might run if.
You could close it if you want. Thank you. So there's 4 in there. You have a beautiful. 4, Did you build that den box? You and your husband?
That was the Chelmsford Girl Scouts. The Girl Scouts built those for us. Yeah.
Look at what a great job they did with that. It came out beautifully.
They made us a bunch of den boxes for our squirrels and for our raccoons, and they're awesome. And the Boy Scouts also made us some as well. So, like I said, the community has taken care of us in so many ways. These animals. And they're not, these guys have everything that they could want. It's not like we're providing minimal care. Everything, they get amazing meals. They get these really nice den boxes, nice big enclosures. So they're really getting top-rate care, and it's because of the community. It really is.
And you and your husband, which is wonderful. They probably would prefer to live the rest of their lives in there, I think, because they're getting the food and safety with the shelter.
But I think about that, because a lot of people make that comment. They're like, oh, they're not going to want to leave. But also, they get to a point where they're fine being in here. Once they get old enough, you can tell they start to go stir crazy, where they're really craving more stimulation. And no matter how nice I make the cage, it can't compare to a huge oak tree or pine tree. These guys, they love to run. They love to jump. I'm sure people see them going through the trees, and there's that I can't emulate,
Did you say where they came from?
These guys came from a basement in Concord. Something must have happened to their mother. The lady found them in her basement, and they were all thin, very dehydrated. So she wasn't really sure what to do with them, and I was just able to go down there and just pick them up. They were pretty weak. Yeah.
And how did she hear about you? Are you one of the closest wildlife rescues in the whole area?
No, there's a bunch of us out there. I think people can go to mass.gov and find wildlife rehabbers. Also, I think under Google, we come up a lot of times if people are searching in this area. And then word of mouth, Facebook too. Most people that find us know us from Facebook, from social media. Wonderful. So, yeah.
So you brought these squirrels in. How long ago was that? Did you say?
Guys have been here for, I think, a month now.
A month, yeah.
Yeah, they've grown a lot. So they've probably got another week or so on formula, and then once they're fully weaned, they can start acclimating to the outdoors.
And then you release them in a few weeks or a month or two?
These guys are a little bit different because they're cache hoarders. They're a little different than gray squirrels, and they tend to store everything they need like in one place for the winter. So there's another rehabber that I spoke with who has a very large enclosure that they could actually stay in for the entire winter. So they're probably going to end up getting transferred to her.
Nice.
It's great. There is a wonderful collaboration of rehabilitators in Massachusetts. There's actually 3 rehabilitators here in Chelmsford.
Really?
Yeah, Mary Petrino. I'm sure a lot of people know Mary. She's,
I thought she was with you too.
Oh yeah, so we all work together.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I'm actually babysitting one of her skunks. I'll show you in a little
bit.
Oh
really?
So,
wow.
Yeah, it's super cute. But we all work and collaborate. So, like, if I find skunks, Mary's got a lot more experience than I do with skunks, so they would go to her. Like, for example, we got a call in Chelmsford about a skunk that was stuck to a rat trap. Like, the rat trap was around its head, I think. And I called Mary, and we went together. And Mary has so much more experience than I do with skunks. And so I was with another volunteer of mine, and I was trying to make a game plan. I was like, okay, you stand there, I stand here, because we're all terrified of getting sprayed. And I'm making this game plan, and Mary, who's been doing it forever, just walks up to the skunk with a carrier and just scoops it right up. It didn't spray or anything. Wow. I was amazed. Yeah, but this woman's been doing it way longer than I have. She's got so much more experience, and the neighbors were thrilled we were able to help the skunk without, it spraying the neighborhood. So it's great to work with different people and pull from different experiences for the betterment of the animals.
Yes, wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that skunk pretty soon. And how about in this next cage?
So
what do we have in
gray squirrels in here.
Oh, gray squirrels.
Yeah, so they're all kind of sleeping, though they're a little...
there it comes.
There you go, come here. So this one I've had since it was a pinky, which is like when it's still pretty much see-through. There's no fur on it.
That's why he trusts you, so you could hold him like that?
Right, so this one's still formula fed, so it's not afraid of me just yet. These guys...
He's not afraid. That's great. I like that.
Yeah,
and he doesn't bite you, which is nice.
No, yeah. But once this one gets to an outdoor enclosure, they wild up. They won't let me anywhere near them. But
really?
Now,
I see. So getting bigger and then put it in the bigger enclosure outdoors.
If you do it at the right time,
then they won't do what he's doing now.
Right, yeah. So, and that's important because I don't want to release them and have them approaching people and freaking people out. So it is very important that they learn fear of people over time. But this one came from Chelmsford. He came from St. Joseph's Cemetery. There's a gentleman that works there that's a big supporter for us, and he found this little guy. So we treated him for mange. He's been cured of mange. It's going to take a little while for all of his fur to grow back. But he had a really large load of parasites. It's
really?
Coccidia, yeah. So we have the ability to test their feces for parasites, which is really important because this little guy was just riddled with them and essentially just being eaten alive. He had them on his skin, he had them in his intestines. So we cleared him up, and once he wasn't contagious anymore, he got some buddies. So it's nice because none of these squirrels...
look at them. Are they playing with each other?
They do. None of them are related, but they're young enough that they still cuddle up, and it's important for them because they bond with each other and not us. That's why it's really important not to ever raise a single. Because some people think, I found a single baby, I can raise it and release it, but you really can't because a baby squirrel that was raised with people won't even actually move like a regular squirrel. Like you know how regular squirrels move really quickly? I've seen it firsthand. Like they don't know they're a squirrel. They don't move quickly like a squirrel. They're not very alert to what's going around. So it's very important. Also, if you've ever seen them, any animal when they get next to, when they're a baby and get next to one of their own kind, they're just so happy. They just love.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? So you release those guys in a month or two or whatever?
So yeah, so those guys will actually, these guys will probably stay with us for the winter. I'm gonna see kind of how